Good morning, friends. I am Lal Mohan Rajak, today's speaker on employment generation through quality education for all in India. So, let us discuss about this. Now, what the basic thing we are going to discuss today, why is it necessary to talk about quality education? In the last few decades, or in the last decades, we have seen that the quality of education has gone down. Employment generation has been affected. And since the implementation of Constitution of India, when the education became accessible to all, irrespective of socio-economic background, several types of education systems were introduced in India. One was run by the state governments, private institutions, and the central government. By the private institutions affiliated to various boards, their quality also differed. And in the state boards, when we see the quality of the education differs from one state to other state. Likewise, we have the private institutions. Most of them are affiliated to CBSE Central Board of Secondary Education. Some of them are affiliated to other higher boards. Why all these institutions have their quality of education on different levels? Quality education for all in India can solve unemployment problem in India, and it can significantly boost employment. As we are going to talk today on employment generation through quality education for all in India, how to improve evaluation education quality. Quality of education in India can be improved through the following methods: improving education quality, focus on skill development. This can be done through private public partnership. Central government has already initiated several programs to bridge the gap between education and employability. These programs are industry oriented, training and prepare the students and youths for specific job roles. Examples: Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana and Skill India Mission. The second is vocational education. Integrating vocational education into mainstream education will help students acquire practical skills, making them more employable. Digital literacy. Digital literacy initiatives and training programs in emerging technologies can equip individuals with new skills, enhancing their employability. Addressing challenges, infrastructure and funding. Improving educational infrastructure and increasing funding can help provide quality education, especially in rural areas. Next is industry academia collaboration. Collaboration between educational institutions and industries is crucial to bridge the gap and align education with industry needs. Teacher training. Providing teachers with training and resources can help them deliver high quality education and equip students with industry relevant skills. Government initiatives and policies. National Education Policy NEP 2020. The National Education Policy 2020 aims to revamp the education system, focusing on holistic and multidisciplinary education, vocational training, and digital learning. Employment linked incentives schemes. The government has introduced schemes to provide incentives for job creation and support for both employees and employers. The next is Digital India Initiative. These are the government initiatives and policies. The Digital India Initiative promotes digital literacy, provides digital infrastructure, and delivers online education, opening up new avenues for employment. Now, let us have, in brief, we have seen, let us have some points in detail. Education and employment in India. What are the challenges and what are the opportunities? This is one of the research work done by Professor Arun Mehta, C. Mehta. What he says, according to him, what are the points to be followed for employment generation in India through quality education for all. In his executive summary, he explains the employment landscape in India presents a set of challenges and opportunities. While unemployment rates have been a concern, the government and stakeholders have taken several initiatives to address the issue. Skill development programs like Skill India and PMKVY, Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana aim to bridge the skill gap and enhance employability. Startup and entrepreneurship support initiatives foster innovation and job creation. Digital transformation through the Digital India campaign opens up new avenues for employment. Collaboration between academia and industry help align education with industry needs, infrastructure development projects. Infrastructure development projects generate employment opportunities. Rural employment programs like Manrega provide livelihood support. International collaborations promote job placements abroad. Women empowerment schemes promote women's participation in the workforce. Reskilling and upskilling programs address the impact of technology. Education and employment in India, again, we are going to have the challenges and opportunities unlocking. However, sustained efforts and collaboration among stakeholders are necessary to overcome these challenges and create a robust employment ecosystem in India. Let us see the introduction. Education and employment are critical aspects shaping individuals' futures and contributing to a nation's growth and development in the Indian context. These domains hold immense significance due to the country's large population and the aspirations of the youths of India. However, India faces unique challenges in ensuring that everyone is fully equipped with the necessary skills and knowledge to thrive in job market. This article explores the current landscape of education and employment in India. It discusses the challenges faced and highlights opportunities for improvement. The Government of India has initiated many steps to address the challenges in education and employment. The government has launched several schemes to improve education quality, such as the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and the midday meal scheme. The government is also working to create more jobs through the Make in India and Digital India initiatives. Despite the challenges, India has a large and growing workforce. The country has a young population with over 60% under 35 years of age. This young population can potentially be significant source of economic growth. However, addressing the educational and employment challenges is essential to realize this potential. The education scenario in India. India's education system is vast and diverse, catering a wide range of students across different socio-economic backgrounds. However, challenges like limited access to quality education and inadequate infrastructure and outdated curriculum persist. There is a need to focus more on improving the quality education, enhancing teacher training programs, and promoting digital literacy to bridge the urban rural divide and ensure equal opportunities for all. The education in India has made significant progress in recent years. The literacy rate has increased from 52% in 1991 to 77% in 2021. The number of children enrolled in schools has also increased, with over 260 million children now enrolled in elementary schools. However, there are still significant challenges in the education system. For example, the quality of education is often poor, and there is a significant gender gap in education. Boys are more boys than girls enrolled in schools. Skill development initiatives. Recognizing the importance of skill development, the Indian government has launched initiatives such as Skill India, aiming to equip youth with industry relevant skills. These programs aim to address the gap between education and employability by fostering vocational training, entrepreneurship, and apprenticeship opportunities, strengthening the collaboration between educational institutions and industries, can further enhance the effectiveness of these initiatives. Rising demand for technical education. With the increasing influence of technology in various sectors, there is a growing demand for technical education in India. Engineering, computer science, data analysis, and artificial intelligence are witnessing increased enrollment as students seek to align their skills with emerging job markets, encouraging interdisciplinary learning, promoting research and development, and fostering innovation ecosystem can help India become a global hub for technical education and employment opportunity. Industry academia collaboration. Fulfilling collaboration between the academic field and industries is crucial to bridge the gap between industry and classroom requirements. This can be achieved through internships, industry visits, guest lectures, and mentorship programs. Such partnership can provide students with practical exposures, industry insights, and networking opportunities, enhancing their employability and nurturing an entrepreneurship mindset. Entrepreneurships and startup culture. In recent years, India has witnessed a significant rise in entrepreneurship, ventures, and startups, challenges in education and employment, inequality, and accessibility. One of the significant challenges in India's education system is the disparity in access to quality education. Rural areas, especially in rural areas and marginalized communities, often lack adequate educational infrastructure and resources. Ensuring equal access to education for all sections of society remains a critical challenge. Outdated curriculum are also big challenge. The existing curriculum in many educational institutions does not always align with the evolving needs of industries. There is an urgent need to update and modernize the current curriculum to equip students with relevant skills and knowledge that match the job market demands. Quality of education. This is also one of the challenges. While India has many educational institutions, the quality of education provided is inconsistent across the board. Issues such as the shortage of qualified teachers, outdated teaching methods, and insufficient infrastructure hinder the delivery of quality education. Skill gap. The traditional education system often lacks a focus on practical skills, soft skills, and industry specific knowledge. This gap leads to high rate of unemployment or underemployment among graduates. Lack of vocational training. Vocational training, education, and training have not received adequate attention in India. The focus on academic qualifications often overlooks the importance of vocational skills. Strengthen vocational training programs and provide alternate pathways for employment and bridge the skill gap. Employability challenges. Many graduates struggle to find suitable employment opportunities despite educational qualifications, lack of industry exposure, limited practical experience, and insufficient career guidance contribute to the employability challenges faced by students. Limited research and development. The emphasis on research and development is relevant, relatively low in many educational institutions in India because of innovation and the creation of new knowledge, which is essential because of innovation and the creation of new knowledge, which is essential for fostering a vibrant and globally competitive education system. Gender disparities. Gender disparities persist in access to education and employment opportunities, societal norms, biases, and cultural barriers limit educational and career options for women. Addressing these inadequate infrastructure and limited access to technology hinder the quality of education in many parts of the country. Lack of internet connectivity, insufficient digital resources, and outdated technology challenge effective teaching and learning. Alignment with industry needs is also one of the challenges. How can we get rid of this? There is often a mismatch between the skills imparted by educational institutions and the specific requirements of industries. Addressing these challenges requires concerted efforts from policymakers, educational institutions, industries, and society. By focusing on inclusive and accessible education, promoting skill development, fostering industry academia collaboration, and innovating in innovation and investing in innovation and research, India can overcome the challenges and create a robust education system that prepares the individuals for the evolving job markets. So, these are the few points we have seen in the topic what we are going to talk about today. We have discussed and we are also going to discuss it more, that is employment generation through quality education in India. So, how can it be done? Already we have seen it, but again, some of the points, specific points, we will emphasize. We know that 67% of population reside in rural areas, and another 10% we can assume that this population is in slum areas in cities or towns. So approximately it is 80% that population lives in inadequate living standards where they lack not only daily needs, food, FDCS square, food, drinking, that is clean water, shelter, security, and clothings. When they are not able to achieve these basic necessary necessities, for them it becomes very difficult for having access to the quality education in those areas. When we see a divide, we'll see a clear divide in the urban and rural areas. Almost all the good schools run by public or private managements, those schools are available in the urban areas. A very few such institutions are in the rural areas, maybe negligible. So, unless we focus on the quality education in rural areas in all over India, the dream of having maximizing of employment through quality education will never be fulfilled. In developed nations, when we see the government, the people invest more in public schools run by the government, majority of the parents send their children to those public schools, which we call in developed nations government schools. In India, it is different. When we say public schools, majority of them or most of them are run or managed by the private management, private organizations, and we can see most of the students, those who come out from these schools, occupy the higher posts in Indian administration, in technology, in medicine, in management, and in governance also. So, the problem faced by the students, the people in rural areas where they do not have even average education system, they are not able to reach to those higher posts. They are not part of the scheme policy making system. Again and again, they have the same fate. Generations to generations have to face the health and education problems in the rural areas. So, how can we develop the qualitative educational institutions in these areas, in slum areas, in urban field, and in rural areas? We had to do something different. Some of the or the people who are interested, who are volunteers, who think about these qualitative changes in the society to have better life and to make India one of the developed nations in the world, the intellectuals, the administrators, the educationists, the management people can come together and they can have collaboration with the industries and the institutions. And those institutions are to be managed by the private organizations. Then only it can be developed, because already we have almost all the schools run under the management of state government. Central government managed institutions are better. When we say Navodaya Vidyalayas, Kendriya Vidyalayas, Sainik schools, these schools are doing very good. Otherwise, the schools run by the state governments, very few, like Netrahat school in Jharkhand, it is although run by state government, but it has always given very good result. Likewise, maybe handful of the institutions in all the states, maybe 1 or 2%, but majority of those institutions are actually either not functioning or malfunctioning or not able to give results. Students come out of those institutions, schools, colleges, universities, and they are compelled to be unemployed or underemployed. Why? Because their capabilities are either not developed, or if some of them could develop their capabilities, they are not guided to blend their capabilities with their career. So, here we are going to talk about three formulas: P3, C square, and P5. What is P3? Purpose, process, and product. Unless we have purpose in the minds of the students, in the minds of the parents, in the minds of the teachers, the principals, the headmasters, the intellectuals, the people who think good about the country, nothing can be achieved. Once we have purpose in mind, and what the purpose should be to have India seen as one of the most developed nations in the world, the only way is to enhance employability to 96%. Because when we see in the developed nations, the percentage of employability is 96, 97, 98%. And rest of them, those who are not willing or they are very highly placed, there can be some exceptions. But almost all the developed nations have very high rate of employability, and they have financial security with other securities. So in India, you can do one thing, that the organizations, social organizations, non-government NGOs, they should move towards the villages and slum areas where they can establish English medium qualitative schools affiliated to CBSE. This is the best board for the middle class. So, in each panchayat or in each area of 3 to 5 kilometer radius, we can have one 10 plus 2 English medium CBSE affiliated schools, and then only the quality of education can be enhanced. In each panchayat, the population is approximately 5,000 and more. Somewhere it is 8,000, 10,000. So the children definitely will be 3,000 to 5,000 in bigger panchayats or middle level panchayats. So 110 plus 2 school can be managed easily. What will happen if the students from the village area or the parents somehow try to send their children to urban or cities or nearby towns? The convenience will cost more, and if they have to keep their children, their students in the cities, the expenditure per month for resident, for food, and for conveyance will be higher than the fees charged by the schools. So, if a 10 plus 2 English medium CBSE pattern school is open in each panchayat, now if approximately 2 or 3 kilometer radius will be, and it will be accessible to all the children of the panchayat. Once we have this, then for the government also it will be easy, because the government, almost all the states have their government schools in each panchayat. In some of the panchayat I have seen primary schools are 4, 5, maybe more than that, and at least 2, 3 middle schools will be up to upgrade it 8 class, or somewhere you will find one at least 10th class school. And in each block, one 10 plus 2 school with maybe with hostel or without hostel. But the condition of those schools are not satisfactory. So once we have English medium CBSE school in each panchayat, it will be easy for the children of the panchayat to have access to quality education, and government can have their own government schools developed into English medium schools. Primary up to primary, they can have their regional language, they can have. But if it is English medium like Kendriya Vidyalayas, Navodaya Vidyalayas, the students will be benefited and the quality of the education will improve. So, this will not only enhance the quality of the education, but the funding will be easy for the government, for the private sectors. Now the government spends a lot of money on more than 5-6 schools in one panchayat. Merging those schools in one particular school, which is one of the best school, maybe that school can be developed into plus 2 school, higher secondary school, and all the students can come there. And for the children, for the students below 5 years, for them we can have play schools, preschools in each ward or each village, each tola, up to LKG, UKG. Those children can study. Already we have Anganwadi system, but the Anganwadi system is completely failed. The quality is never maintained, maybe exceptional, one or two, some cases maybe, but most of the Anganwadis are either non-functional or sub-functional. They do not give quality education to the children. It is evident when these children go to the government schools or the private schools and they take admission in class 1, their standard is very low. So this can be done. The government or the schemes can be that the people who have done their graduation, their plus 2 education, or some have done their B.Ed, they should be given permission and funding to run private schools. When the government gives money to the individuals to run schools, or they give funds annually as fees to affiliated schools to the government, these are not completely affiliated to the government, but only funding is given to compensate the fees. The attitude of the people running schools are different. We'll discuss it later on. But to address the challenges, we can think of having one centralized NGO guiding the NGOs working in states, the trusts working in districts to establish schools. And we have thousands of private schools running across India, approximately 660 plus Navodaya Vidyalayas, and likewise we have Sainik schools, Kendriya Vidyalayas. Comparatively, they are better, although these are also run by the central government. Government funding is given. and central government funds the state government for educational development. So, through the advices, through the policies, state government can take positive initiatives to improve the quality of education by having at least one 10 plus 2 English medium school in each panchayat and one play school from nursery to UKG in each ward or each tola in urban areas where slums are there and in rural areas. The second is that each block should have an ITI institution, maybe run by the government or again the private institutions. The attitude of the government teachers, instructors, officers have to be evaluated. Those people who work in private institutions, they work very sincerely. The moment they get government job, permanent job, and their future is secured, their efficiency is to be monitored, and this can be done only through the district education officers, block level education officers, state education secretary, and the support should come from the people who are in the society, in the civil areas, those who are retired from education system, administration, retired principals, professors, teachers, even defense personnel, they should also come forward to have a check on the quality of education wherever they are. Individually they can't do, but they can be part of some of the organization called non-government organizations, civil societies, because those societies are given power by the constitution. They can have survey, they can have supervision, they can give report, and not all, but a few people in each system are definitely honest, they do their good job, maybe 10%. Because of those 10% people who are honest, dedicated towards their job, these organizations, country is still functioning. If all the people, 100% people are dishonest, corrupt, then country cannot run. Some are there who are still honest and very loyal to the constitution and people of India. It is a democratic country. People have their voice, their say. The media, the judiciary, administration, legislative, they all can come forward. And those who are willing to see India as one of the most developed nation in the world should talk about quality education, should work for quality education, and should come forward to join hands with the organizations which are working day and night. People are there. We have organizations in India, those are worried about, and they always find some solutions. And we have in India already schools, they give quality education, they give very good education. Some of them are private, some of them are run by state government, some are run managed by the central government. So there is no way that this cannot be improved. It will improve, and it will improve only when the parents, the teachers, administration, the government, and social scientists, technologists, all should come forward. I don't think anybody can say that he or she is not related to education system. Either he or she has studied, or his or her children are studying, or have already studied, their parents have studied. So education cannot be said that someone is immune to this. It is not like that. Everybody has a relationship with the education system. But only one thing that we have to think about how to improve the quality of the education system. And it will not take much time. Within 15 years of a time span, it can be revamped, reformed, and we can see India has become one of the most developed nations in education and employment. Here we are going to have end of this topic. Rest 15 minutes to 13 minutes we are going to have question answer session. We will invite any question pertaining to this topic. You all are welcome. Thank you so much. Once again, I am Lal Mohan Rajak, today's speaker, and professionally I am soft skills trainer, resource person, and author, motivational speaker, freelancer. Thank you so much.